Hey everyone, welcome to Wednesday's Sign of the Week. I'm Danika from All Areas Speech Pathology, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how we can utilize some keyword sign to support understanding or comprehension. Now, this is of particular interest over the past 2 years when what's been happening? Masks. We've had lots and lots of mask wearing in the community, sometimes in classrooms, so teachers, when we're having conversations or discussing things with people, and when we've got a mask on our face, it's often tricky to get our ideas or the things that we're trying to communicate across effectively. So I wanted to talk a little bit today in our Wednesday's Sign of the Week about how we can incorporate some keyword signs, in particular for the classroom or for an education setting. So here in New South Wales, we have lots of teachers and educators currently wearing masks day to day. So within early learning services, within classrooms, and I thought I'd show you some examples of what it might look like when we add some keyword signs to some of those key phrases or key messages that we might be sharing in our classroom. Now, if you're a teacher or educator, you might have an idea of the phrases that you're using more regularly, and I would love to hear them, so feel free to pop them in the comments. I've just put a few together today just to give you a little bit of an idea of what it might look like when we're adding a visual tool to support language learning or comprehension. Now, the first one we're going to do is the sign for wait. Now, when we're using keyword signs here in Australia, we are using individual Auslan signs, and sometimes there's lots of variations on a sign. So I'll often show you a few different ones. You might see this sign done for wait, or this sign done for wait. Today I'm going to use this sign for wait. It's one that I like to use if I'm indicating to somebody that I want them to hold on a minute or just wait. So here's the sign for wait. Let's look at what that might look like when we have a mask or something on our face. So I'm going to put this on today. Let's try wait. Just wait. Now let's try that using our individual sign or keyword signing to support that message. Wait. Just wait, or waiting. The next one we're going to look at are some food and drink signs. So the sign for food looks like this. You're going to take your dominant hand and put all of your fingers on your thumb and tap it on your chin. When we're using keyword sign, we are using slow, simplified speech. So it's important to use the sign at the same time as saying the word, like this. Eat or food. Same sign for both. Eat or food. And we're also going to do the sign for drink. So this might be when we're indicating to children or people within our services that it's time to have something to eat or something to drink. Or do they want something to eat or want something to drink? Now the sign for drink, you're going to take a full-handed C and move it up towards your mouth like you're having a drink. 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 You might also like to add the sign for want in there as well if you're asking, do you want something to eat or do you want something to drink? Let's try those signs when we're using a mask. So without those visual cues, you might see it like this. Do you want something to eat? Do you want something to drink? And now adding some keyword signs. Do you want something to eat? Do you want something to eat? Do you want something to drink? Do you want something to drink? Eat and drink. The next sign we're going to do is the sign for toilet. So you might incorporate this sign if you're going to go to the bathroom or toilet, or if you'd like your students to be heading to the toilet or bathroom. So when we use the sign for toilet, we're going to take a T shape like this, a T hand shape from our Auslan alphabet, and we're going to tap it twice. Toilet, toilet. Let's try that one with our mask on. Time to go to the toilet, or do you want to go to the toilet? Time to go to the toilet. Toilet. Do you want to go to the toilet? Toilet. I'm going to show you the sign for come now. Like if you're indicating you'd like somebody to come over or come closer even. You're going to take your dominant hand, make an index finger and bend it so it's shaped like a hook. And you're going to move it towards your body. So this might be when you're indicating for a person to come over here, come over here. So it's a nice visual, isn't it? That goes along with the words that I'm saying. Come over here. Let's try that one with our mask on, using our keyword sign and without. Come over here. Come over here. We're going to do the sign for sit now. So this is the last one for today's session, but we'd be really interested to hear if there are other phrases or words or sentences that you're using a lot within your services, whether or not that's teaching or classrooms or even in your office space. You might be a speech pathologist or an OT using some particular directions regularly, and we'd love to hear them so that we can show you some keyword signs that might go with them when you're wearing a mask. Next is the sign for sit. Now, there are a few variations on this sign, depending on what you're indicating. If you would like somebody to sit down in a chair, you're going to make a lovely chair shape with your hands. This is your dominant hand. This is your non-dominant hand, so the one you write with. Pop it together like a chair shape. This is also a Z, isn't it, if you know a little bit of Auslan. Sit. Sit. You might show sit like this if you're going to sit down on the floor. Sit. Or you might see this one. Ready? Pop your legs on your chair. Sit. I'm going to use the sign for sit like this as a general sit. So sit. You might be telling everybody that it's time to sit down. Or can you please sit down? Sit down. Let's try adding that when we're wearing a face mask or something that's covering our mouth. When we're talking, we use our facial expressions and our mouth and our lips to convey lots of emotions. So adding some keyword sign might be a really effective way to share that information when we've got our mouth and the bottom part of our face covered. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. So today's Wednesday sign of the week was all about talking about how we might use visuals like keyword sign to help support to get our message across more effectively. This might be if you're teaching children or people to use individual signs themselves. You might be in a classroom with older children where they're wearing masks as well. So it might be a nice way for them to be able to communicate back to you more effectively and get their message across more effectively when they're wearing a face mask or when their face is partially covered. I hope that gave you a really nice representation of how difficult it might be for those of us that are working in industries or jobs where we're wearing face masks, and how difficult that might be to communicate effectively. Adding some individual keyword signs can be a really great visual tool to support communication. Thanks for joining us today for Wednesday's Sign of the Week, and I look